are listening to a One Pint Stand, a Minnesota craft beer podcast that tells the stories of craft beer in Minnesota and beyond. So kick back, relax, and grab a cold one. The show starts now. Hello, my name is Dan Bobian, and I write, produce, and host a One Pint Stand. I'm ecstatic that you're listening. This episode is proudly sponsored by Wandering Leaf Brewing Company. Wandering Leaf is a fantastic, family-friendly brewery that combines the loves of lush greenery and craft beer. Their spacious, plant-filled taproom is located just south of Highland Park on West 7th Street in St. Paul. Make sure you check them out. On this episode, I pop over to Doña Cervecería to chat with Dickie Lopez about their transition to a brewpub. As of the date we recorded this towards the end of April, they had been a brewpub for just about a month. I'm sure now that we are in the beginning of June, they are in full swing and slinging beers, spicy margs, and churning out pizzas like crazy. I really enjoy any time I get to chat with Dickie because he is an industry veteran whom I respect a ton. We chatted about their food, the drinks, and all the other things that they dealt with as they moved towards the brewpub model. Now, if you're a pint hoister or a keg stander level supporter of the One Pint Stand Patreon, you get to hear how Dickie is getting into Irish whiskey, how to get people to stop talking to you by using an expansive brewing vocabulary. That's a really funny story. And you get the lowdown on Dickie's new role at Doña now that he's no longer their head brewer. So let's head out to Doña's taproom for my chat about their move to a brewpub model with Dickie Lopez. Cheers. Welcome to another on-location episode of a One Pint Stand. My name is Dan Bobian, and I'm here at Doña Cervecería, and I'm being joined by my good buddy, Dickie Lopez.
Hello, everybody.
Listen to that voice, that soothing voice. You should read audiobooks.
I actually was thinking about doing that for a while there as like a part-time gig.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Facebook started the ads. It started posting them all the time of have you tried voice acting? And it's just oh, maybe I should.
I mean, it could be, or just a basic instruction manual.
Yeah,
I feel like every piece of IKEA furniture would look the right way if you were giving
helping guide
the narration for that. Oh, the lights are on now. Yeah. We're live. Yeah, so we're here at Doña Cervecería because recently you transitioned from a brewery to a brew pub.
Correct, yes.
And that's very exciting.
Yeah.
And it seems like walking in, our paths crossed several months ago at the northbound Icebox release, and you were telling me about what was happening with the construction. You were kind of I've got a lot going on with everything, and I didn't quite understand. And now that I'm here, I see the hallway that no longer exists. Yep,
the hallway. We used to have two. Now we have one. The far hallway.
Okay,
we still have, but the water connections were on this side.
Okay.
Where we're sitting, so the hallway that's no longer there. And so they wanted to button that up a little bit more and not move where the hood for the ventilation going outside would have been, because it would have been obstructed by something on this side. So
okay.
One thing or another. And I think maybe the city or someone was like, no, it has to be this one, because, you have to send it in to get approved.
Yep.
All that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you looked like you were appreciative that there was a 13% beer on tap at Northbound.
Yes, absolutely.
This is not the first time I've chatted with you on this show.
No.
So do you want to give just kind of a brief, introduce yourself, say how long you've been in the beer industry, what's your favorite style of beer to drink, and what's your favorite new beverage to enjoy here at Doña now that you have many more options?
Okay, I might need to ask you if I missed something.
Yes, that's fine. Okay. That's why I'm here.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm Dickie Lopez, formerly head brewer here at Doña, still a part owner. I've been in the industry, I think, I was trying to figure it out the other day, 17 or 18 years now?
Yeah.
Something like, long time.
It is a long time.
Almost long enough to drink.
That's right. You're heading off on your own.
Yeah, exactly. Next one was favorite thing to drink?
Favorite beer style?
Beer style.
Yeah.
Okay. Light lager.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Now, I've got this was new to me. It's probably not new. Maybe it is new. I don't know. This Mexican wheat lager?
I made it for the anniversary last year.
Okay.
Yep, and so the name of that one is Yolotli. Excuse me, which is my sister's middle name.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
It's good. It's not. What's the difference? It tastes really crisp. It's really easy drinking.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a nice little I like the hop finish.
Yeah.
There's like a little bit of there's a little nice snap to it. A little bit of bitterness kind of like lingers. Not like a piney bitterness, but like what I just call like beer bitterness.
Oh, for sure.
Which is just like not. Yeah, it's not hot. It's just like kind of just a beer you don't need to think about if you're talking.
Right.
Like you just, hey, this is good. I want to keep drinking this.
Yeah, like a good table beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Mexican lager yeast, the house yeast that Sean is still keeping going for, Doña Fria, Super Classico, or any of the lagers that are up there.
Okay.
Its nature is to pull out the malt flavors.
Okay, yeah.
And so by adding the wheat in there for a lager, it really accentuates that portion of it.
Okay.
I'm blanking on the hops right now that we used, but it was more than likely either Mosaic or Cascade.
Okay.
That we used there.
Yeah.
And then I think it was a few bags of pre-milled white wheat and then some flaked wheat just to add to the body of it.
Yeah. It's really good.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
I was telling you, every time I come here, my first beer is always Doña Fria.
Doña Fria.
Because I love it.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm going to be different today. I'm gonna get this other thing that I've never tried. It's good. Very, very nice.
Yeah, thanks, man.
The last question is, what's your favorite thing to drink here now that you have a wider catalog of options?
Oh, gotcha. I think it would probably be Sueños de Cafe, the coffee brown ale.
Okay, nice.
Yep, I was finally able to secure some coffee. The guy that I normally would go through for coffee recently left his spot to go open up his own spot.
Okay.
And so I was trying to figure out where to fit it in with him opening up the new spot. He unfortunately wasn't going to be able to get ready soon enough.
Okay.
So we ended up going with Up Coffee, where my old buddy used to work at and roast at, and originally got me going on what varieties of coffee would go well in beer.
Okay.
And they were out of the one that I originally used, so we used, I believe, Guatemalan roast.
Okay.
Yeah, instead of the Mexico roast that we would normally do. But it turned out really well.
Okay.
Yep.
What was the big difference between the Mexican roast and the Guatemalan roast?
Between the two, there wasn't very much. I think the Guatemalan has, and whoever is going to be irate listening to this, I don't know, don't quote me. But I believe it had more of a berry.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, than the Mexico roast.
That's weird sometimes when you go to a coffee shop and I like looking at the descriptors of coffee, and someone let's say berry, I'm like, yeah, right. And then you taste it and oh, no, there it is.
Yeah,
there
right.
was blueberries in here. How does that work? I don't know.
Well, when we both started drinking coffee, it was Folgers.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We've come a long way. We've come a long way from then.
We have, yes.
Yeah, I really like the coffee that I drink comes from one of my wife's coworkers. His family has a coffee farm in Honduras, so they send the beans up here and they roast them up here. But it's Velasquez family coffee. It's delicious.
And where can you find it?
You can find it. So go to their website.
Okay.
They deliver the beans to our house.
Oh, wow.
Because they're located in like the North End / Como area, but they're in several grocery stores. I want to say they're in like Kowalski's and a couple other places. I get the Memos blend. It's like their breakfast blend. It's like a medium roast.
Okay.
It's really good.
I really dig the mediums. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll bring you some.
Okay.
I'll bring you some. It's solid.
Right.
It's good stuff. I swear by it. Keeps me up. Saved many a life in my education years. I always tell my students, don't ask a stupid question until I've had at least 5 big gulps of this mug. Otherwise, you take your life in your hands.
That's when you have to get the clear coffee glass and mark a line.
I did have one year I had my first block trained to just like not do anything crazy. And like some kid would start acting up and they would always go, shh, get some coffee, you know. Oh, yeah, sorry. Just kind of funny. Teenagers are funny. So you're a brew pub now.
Yep.
Talk to me about what was the motivation to change from a brewery to a brew pub? Because you're not the only one that's done that or is in planning to do that.
Yeah, we're definitely not the only ones to do it. St. Paul Brewing did it quite a while ago. And that was actually one of the places that we went to because the assistant general manager used to work there. And he worked there during the transition. So he was actually able to help us out a lot.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever met Delano.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's the one that was like, oh, yeah, I saw how it worked and all that stuff.
Okay.
So the main reason switching over was to kind of refresh and revamp the kitchen.
Okay.
We were already planning on doing that in general. And so part of it was also witnessing throughout the industry that a lot of people weren't necessarily going out all that much anymore.
Yeah.
And we also knew Animales was moving in next door. So we would already be not necessarily competing with a full bar, but there'd be a full bar next door with barbecue. They've already been established. I mean, we have too, but it's just beer. So it's like, how can we accommodate for the people that are gluten-free, people that don't drink beer, people that want wine, stuff like that. And with the, unfortunately, rising amount of places that close, because there's only so many licenses per level. So there's the beer one, right?
Yep.
And then there's the beer and wine, and then there's the full bar. So with places closing down, a lot of those licenses opened up.
I guess, you know what? I never thought of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Huh.
So we ended up thinking about it and Sergio and I going around and checking it out. How can we make this work and where would we put everything? Kind of like when we talked last, I think I was telling you about the story of
the glasses.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
I think that's when the veins in your forehead started popping out. You're like, ah.
Oh, you mean when I put these shelves up?
Yeah. Talk about the shelves, the glasses, and Jesus Christ.
But then even before that, when I was first starting to meet with them, Sergio and Alex, the other two owners, there's another one, but I only met with those two. But this whole building was empty. And so, they were putting in ideas of oh yeah, it's going to be an island bar, this, that, and whatever.
Which I really like.
It's for consumers, yes.
Yeah.
For bartenders, not so much.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because you have this open area, and unless you have a thing that you need to move all the time, people tend to
just congregate.
Cheat
there?
in.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
It's one of those things where if you go to a bar, you'll normally find a server station right next to where the entrance behind the bar is.
Yeah.
And that's just so people don't sit there.
Okay. All right. I always learn so much when I talk to you. This is great.
It's these subtle things that you just
Well,
notice.
but you never think about it, and so that's why, like, I'm very intrigued. There's definitely a science to the logistics of every little thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And whereas my dumb ass just comes in and is like, oh hey, I like that the bar, like, you can sit all the way around the bar. I like being able to see across the bar. I think
Right.
that's fun.
Yeah. Or like this side is full, so I can sit on the other side.
Yep.
Yeah, stuff like that. So trying to think about what the consumer would like, the least impact on, the workers. We didn't start out with a bar against a wall, so everybody who's come to work here has been accustomed to like
Sure.
an island bar and all that. But more so, like for me in the back, it was like, okay, I need tank dimensions. I need to know how big the cooler is, and you spend a lot of time walking around with a tape measure,
Yeah.
putting down, painter's tape, so you can like map everything out.
Yeah.
And so even for transitioning into Brewpub, it was kind of like, okay, well, since we're going to be doing that, that takes away our distribution in Minnesota, because when you're a Brewpub, you can't distribute.
Right.
And so now it's also, well, we can't fill 16-ounce cans anymore either. So we got, a pallet space back there. Okay, we're going to do pre-batch cocktails. So, like, where's that station going to be in the back? Because we don't want them doing it up front while we're open. Where the inventory is going to go. So, like, trying to figure out, like, what we can take out of the office to put, different stuff in there. Where's the liquor cage going to go? Where's, this, that, and whatever. All things that, having been the head brewer here for a lengthy amount of time, trying to figure out, how can we utilize the height since we're, squished in here.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like trying to figure out where all that stuff is going to go, how the transition is going to go, because we only have a few people here that work behind the bar that have served cocktails before.
Yeah.
Because before that, it was just all you do is just pour beer.
Yeah, that can be taught pretty. I mean, there's not a very steep learning curve on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But one of the things, a lot of people don't know how to tap kegs, Dan, and they get sprayed in the face.
Oh, yeah.
So that was kind of a little bit of a hurdle, but everybody, for the most part, once it happens once, you kind of figure it out, like, yeah, I probably should.
Yeah, it's just turn, pull the thing down.
Yeah, but some people think they've turned enough because it gets hard to turn.
Oh, sure.
And so they go down and it slips, and yeah.
I mean,
oh well.
First world problem, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my dream to turn on the water in the shower, and all of a sudden it's Mexican lager coming down. I mean, that's a great way to start the day, but that's just me. Well, and then so once you decided to do it, I guess we're going in the way back time machine here, thinking backwards. I suppose when you get the full license, then it's like, all right, here's what we need to change. Come up with a logistic layout of like the storage. So expanding, now you have wine, cocktails. Do you do mocktails too?
Yep.
Okay, mocktails as well. So you've just expanded the drink list, and you built out more of the kitchen to do more things. I saw a reel, and I saw some burrito that looked really good. Because before, it was just tacos, correct? Or did you have burritos before?
We had burritos before.
Okay.
We had burritos, quesadillas, tacos.
Okay.
Yapingachos, which is like a cheesy sweet potato kind of pancake thing.
Okay.
Salsipapas, which is the fried hot dog with fries.
Oh,
and then drizzled with
yeah.
like mayo and ketchup.
Okay.
Nachos. Things like that. But again, with Animali's moving in next door, it was kind of like how do we figure out to add things?
Yeah.
And then a lot of people's, especially people that work here, their big gripe with the original kitchen was that it was a hoodless kind of ventilation system,
Oh, sure.
meaning it doesn't send everything outside.
Yep.
And so, because of the nature of that, everything just kind of got recirculated inside. So you would end up leaving here with a smell,
Yeah.
oil smell.
Yep.
So that was kind of another thing of just like, well, we can't continue to operate like this. So we need a hood.
Yeah.
Looked into like how much that was. And then it just kind of made more sense of like, well, if the hood's going to cost X amount and we're so close to, being at Y, why not we just go with Y?
Yeah. Right.
And then with the liquor and everything, we're already at Z. So it's like, you know what I mean? So
Yep. Yeah.
let's just change it all.
So kind of like you start going down the rabbit hole of what can you do to expand, and then you realize, well, we're just going to go over here.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
cool.
Yep. That way, people already like the beer. They liked going to the liquor store to get the 4-packs because it's, at the time it was at a reasonable price, and we saw, aluminum spiking and even labels were spiking because, even though the labels were made here, the materials weren't made here.
Right.
So just one thing after another, and it forces people to come in. And now that we have everything revamped, like, okay, now, with this fresh new look, last time you were here, the walls weren't this color.
Yeah.
The outside wasn't purple.
Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah.
It's good different.
Very. Yeah,
Minnesotans don't like change. They're very stuck in their ways sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of them, yeah.
And I'm not. I'm a bad Minnesotan, I'll be honest. I will be very honest. That's why I got in deep trouble one time when I answered a question honestly about whether I thought the turkey at Thanksgiving at my in-laws was up to par. We were talking about, I had gone to Manny's because one of my really good friends got dumped.
Oh.
And we were like, well, let's go to Manny's and we'll cheer you up.
Yep.
And I had a steak the size of Nebraska, and it was just the best. I've never had like a fancy steak that before. And I was like, wow. And I was telling them, and then my wife's sister, she's like, well, how would you compare the steak to the turkey? And I just laughed. I'm like, are you kidding me? There's no comparison. That's crazy. And I got the stink eye from several other people. I'm like, well, don't ask me a question if you don't want an honest answer.
Well, you also can't judge two different types of meat either.
That's true.
So
that's true. There's many layers to that. But it's interesting to see. I've noticed, like we mentioned earlier, several other places. I recently did an interview with Gambit Brewing in St. Paul, and they were talking about they moved to a brew pub. There's a lot of reasons to do it. A question I always have is, so you've spent the better part of almost the last decade being a brewery, and your size of production is geared towards putting out beer into the market as well as keeping the taps full here. How has that changed?
It's changed with, wanting to keep a revolving kind of tap line of like, came out with some sours, again, brought the coffee brown ale back, wanting to have rotating IPAs as well. Just kind of changing it up to try and like drive people in.
Yeah.
But again, it all goes back to, the fact that people just weren't going out as much. We were finding ourselves kind of in this weird kind of loop of like, well, maybe if we did more tastings, maybe if we did beer of the month with you guys, maybe, all this stuff. And it was just kind of like, well, if we do beer of the month now, you mark down your price a little bit to kind of like match their loss as well. Or if you're doing tastings, now you have an employee, a brand ambassador going out to a place. If we do, events or different things like that, then it just ends up being like, now you're putting out more. Are you actually seeing that coming back and like sales at that place, or like people coming into your establishment? Different things like that you just kind of have to like take into consideration of would it be worth going to the Mankato Beer Expo or whatever festival it is to potentially like sell to that city? Well, with that question, now it's like, well, if we're opening up in that location, who's going to go there?
You need to have somebody to do that.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Luckily, with us, quite a few people from, close by, like St. Cloud, even, or, Rochester, Mankato. I think a few people came up from, like, I want to say Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah. Or what's that other one that's, like, south? You know what I'm talking about? It's like you turn off instead of going to Rochester. You keep going, and it's a little bit further.
Oh, La Crosse? Or like, Winona.
Winona.
Yeah.
Winona. Yeah. Some people from there, like, hitting us up.
I'm not a geography teacher, folks. Don't worry. That's a lot of pressure to try to...
No, it's English, right?
Yeah, English. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, all those kind of things of like, yeah, we could probably go through, however much. And it's like, that's great. But, now we're talking gas prices. We're talking wages. We're talking, raw materials, things warming up. Does it last? Does it not? And so, even like on the back end of everything, having, when we were doing 4-packs, storing 16-ounce cans warm and doing, more QA and QC to see whether or not, the IPAs would last.
Yeah.
Getting warm and then cold again. And so it all just seemed kind of like this whole thing of like, if we're investing time into this, we could actually be utilizing our time investing in figuring out how to hang shelves.
Yeah. That's right. And here you are. Now you've done that. Yeah. They look beautiful, by the way.
Thanks. Yeah.
They really did turn out well.
I had a little bit of help with one of the guys that also I forget what else he did here. But he's like a carpenter by nature.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was able to like help me figure it out and like how much weight and this and whatever.
That's a question I don't know if I would ask myself, and then I'd put everything on there. Fuck. We got to go back to Costco.
Yeah, just ripped out the drywall.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah. Were you self-distributing?
Yep.
Previously?
Yeah,
so that has to be that alone, the headache of that and the cost of all that. That like removed
for the most part.
Yeah.
Luckily for us, being, you met Sean before he left.
Yeah.
He was the sales and delivery guy.
Okay.
So the way it was put down here was not necessarily trying to push the beer on people.
Mm-hmm.
Not like the, unfortunate, people that work for distributors where like, well, if you buy 50 cases of Miller Lite, we offer up this deal where you can get this case or whatever, or half case or, whatever. As a craft brewery, it was kind of like a introduction of, hey, do you think this beer is good?
Yeah.
Do you think it would do well here?
Yeah.
And then not needing to essentially like force people to have us on an entire shelf, but offer up a variety of different styles.
Yeah.
Where if all of them did well, you could end up just having a full row, but by all means necessary, you do not need to have every single one of our products. We're just going to offer it to you.
Yeah.
Hopefully it does well. We'll do the best of our ability. But if we come back, after X amount of time and the numbers aren't really working that well, get something else in here that's going to sell.
Yeah, right.
Because if it doesn't sell here, now we're just chasing our tail trying to reach out and ask like, hey, do you need anything this week? Hey, do you need anything this week? And then all of a sudden now we become the email that gets passed by until you actually need something. And then you reach out to us. And then it's like, well, you can't reach out at 2:00 on a Friday
right.
and expect us to run something out to you.
Right. Yeah.
So in regards to that, and that doesn't put any blame on, any beer orders out there. mean, the last thing I'm sure somebody wants to do is take inventory on a Friday and figure out, like, oh, we have a quarter keg of this beer that we should probably order another one, but we're going to run out over the weekend.
Right, yeah.
Because I'm sure they don't want to have that conversation either. So, in that regards, for that headache, it has helped a lot. But now we're on the reverse side of dealing with, I think we go through Johnson Brothers here.
Yep. Yeah.
For like liquor,
for like
wine
liquor
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so like every once in a while, Chris is her name, and I've known her for a little while now. But every once in a while, she'll pull up in her car with like kind of a will call order.
Oh,
and
nice.
Just like, hey, such and such didn't make it on the truck, for your delivery. Here you go. Or this got ordered late. Or
the more options you have now, the better. People's drinking habits have changed. I can't.
Very much so.
People want different. People want variety.
Yeah.
And I guess the nice thing is that, if you're, and I struggle with this. I have some friends who, if I'm hanging out with them, we can't go to just a brewery because they're not beer people.
Yeah.
So you got to go to a bar or, and actually, I kind of enjoy the fact that a lot of places have switched as I'm starting to get into cocktails. It's nice to kind of mix and match.
Yeah.
I went to Louisville a couple summers ago, and their laws are way different than here. And it was just such a weird thing to be able to walk into a brewery that I'm like, oh, there's a lot of beer styles here that I like. And then look up on the shelf and see like a really like robust selection of bourbon.
Yeah.
So I could have a couple beers and then try a bourbon that I can't get in Minnesota. That was a real novel idea. And so it's fun. You mentioned earlier that not everybody, that was on staff previous when you were a brewery had mixed cocktails. What training was necessary for that? You say you batch cocktails. Do you batch all your cocktails?
No,
okay.
just the ones.
Just on cue, somebody's shaking a shaker. No, they make them right before your eyes. That was not a sound effect.
No, they'll still activate the mint, right? You have to slap the mint.
Slap the mint.
Yeah.
Take the little lighter and the. It's a whole chemistry set back there, basically.
Yeah, exactly. What you can't see is the piece of wood that they have to light on fire to smoke the glass.
Yeah, see, it's all.
No, they don't have that. I wish.
That's just a kitchen fire, Dickie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, right. It was a little bit of a learning curve because everybody kind of hits their own, because everybody's made a cocktail at home, right?
Yep.
It's different when you go to an establishment and it's somebody else's money, right? So,
that's right.
Which we all know the bars that we like to frequent to with the heavy hands.
Yeah, that's right. Glug, 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 glug.
Yep.
I've never heard of 7 Mississippi before, but that's what you. I always think there's this Instagram reel, this woman pouring like, all right, just 2 ounces of bourbon, and it's like the whole fucking pint glass. I'm like, that's yowza.
That's 2 ounces, huh?
Yeah, 2 ounces. On what scale? On what are we using? Metric? That's crazy. Yeah, so I imagine it was quite a bit different. Who coordinates that training? If everybody at a brewery is knows pouring beer, is Sergio a mixologist as a flat, kind of on the weekends? Did he come in, or who did the training?
No, the person that did the training no longer works here.
Okay.
But she went through, with the measuring cups, the jiggers.
Yep.
The 1 and 1.5.
Yeah.
She went through all of that with people, and there's, posted up right behind this station right here. I know everybody listening can't see it, but
they'll just have to come in and
exactly.
Ask for Dickie. He'll show you. He'll point out everything we mentioned on the show. It'll be like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah,
so you get all 16 items, you get a free beer and a back rub.
Exactly, but it has to be all of that, though.
That's right. Yeah, no.
No, there's cheat sheets. Just like every bar, you have cheat sheets of just like, what is Shirley Temple even?
Yeah.
And, this is what it is, and this is usually how much you're like rough ballpark estimates of different amounts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because even with the cheat sheets and the measuring cups and stuff like that, everybody, still kind of like pours their own way or style or however you want. I'm sure on Saturdays when the nighttime bartenders come in, it's a little bit more for the show than it is during the day where you have a little bit more time. It's not too busy in here, so you can actually like take a little bit more time to make sure everything's correct, and you're still kind of opening up. Somebody's probably cutting fruit up, for cocktails later on that night, or even prepping. There's an event for tomorrow, trying to get ahead of things. I think outside of like a Jack and Coke or Tito's and soda, like those being like brand specific liquors, for the most part, everything else is, basically just like, oh yeah, tequila soda, where it's fairly simple, like, oh, okay, just a basic cocktail.
Yeah.
So that's what I'll make you.
Do you, obviously your beers lean very much into Latino flavors, textures, styles. When you put the cocktail menu together, does that kind of have the same reflection? Like, are there more cocktails that you would find in Latin countries? Or is it just more, when I think of a brewery tap list, kind of depending on their identity, it'll look a certain way.
Right.
And then I think of like a cocktail list. Sometimes that can be pretty eclectic.
Yeah.
What was the thought process behind the cocktail program here now?
Behind the cocktail program was basically just like, since we are a Latino brewery, obviously first things first, you want your spicy marg, your regular marg.
Yep.
Right. That's already going in pre-batch cocktails.
Okay.
And out of the way. So like if anybody wanted like to replace like one of the tequilas or whatever in one of the margaritas, then we'd just like try and figure it out. But for the most part, just like using kind of like a mid-range tequila for both of those.
Okay.
And then for, a lot of people that don't necessarily seek out like Latino cocktails, but still want that Americanized version or U.S. version.
Yeah.
Utilizing mezcal.
Okay.
Like an old fashioned.
Oh,
So it gives it
yeah.
that. Yep. So doing stuff like that. And then the other ones, I think it's just like representations on different kind of tequilas and mezcals.
Okay.
And trying to figure out like where that kind of like would scratch the itch,
Yeah. I was talking with somebody about batch cocktails, and I think I had a misnomer in my head that like batch cocktails. Why would you do it? Like why not make a cocktail like to order? But then they said, well, when it's really busy, do you want to wait 15 minutes for a drink, or do you want to get your drink right away?
Right, yeah.
That makes sense. How many of your cocktails are batched, and which of those are kind of like I know you mentioned the spicy, non-spicy margaritas. Yep. What are some of the other batch cocktails that people could enjoy here?
The other ones would be like pina colada.
Okay.
That's another obvious one too, but whatever is on the menus that we have, and we can barely see them right now, but there's like...
Didn't bring my binoculars.
Yeah, right. But it looks like we're down to 7 pre-batch cocktails.
Okay.
And I think they probably incorporate maybe like 1 or 2 as like a cocktail of the week or month or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what it boils down to with the pre-batch ones. Those are the ones that are on the menu. Obviously, we have other spirits, so we can accommodate for whoever, wherever, whenever.
I see some Aperol. Looks like is that some Bullet bourbon? I'm just going by the shape. I spend a lot of time in bars, folks, so I know what I'm doing. I'm like the Rain Man looks like some vodka. Is that Grey Goose?
Yeah, it's Grey Goose. Hendrix.
Yep. Oh yeah, Hendrix. Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff. Yeah. Is that Galliano? That big tall one?
I think
that's like a orange liqueur, maybe. Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
It started as a one-night stand. I had 2 pints for a lonely hand. Bounced back like a rubber band. For 3 pints. Drinking a fourth in a faraway land. But I couldn't make it as a single man. So I married me this beer right here. A pint, a 1 pint stand.
Hey, thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you're enjoying a 1 pint stand. My aim is to help spread the word about craft beer. Enjoying craft beer is a passion of mine, and I love chatting about it with other people. A 1 pint stand has a goal of helping breweries tell their stories. I love to get out in and beyond Minnesota to visit breweries, beer bars, and meet other interesting beer people. Now, if you're also into those things, you probably want to keep tabs on the show. So go ahead and follow a 1 pint stand on Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, and Mastodon. I also started a TikTok account because I was tired of Charles calling me a boomer for not having one. I would also appreciate any and all positive reviews on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to your podcasts so that we can help make it easier for other craft beer listeners to find us. If you want to be a supporter of the podcast with some extra change that you find in your couch cushions, I have a Patreon. There are 3 different monthly levels of support, and they're priced at $1, $3, or $5 a month. Now, if you pledge at the $3 or $5 monthly level, you get some pretty cool perks. So go to patreon.com and search a 1 pint stand to check it out. We're up to 30 supporters, and I'm just really excited about what that means for this show. If you like reading about craft beer, you can check out my written work on a1pintstand.com. I love to write, and that is where you find a lot of my written content covering both the local craft beer happenings as well as my craft beer travels. I truly appreciate you listening and taking time to enjoy our stories. Before we head back to the show, I want to talk about this episode's sponsor, Wandering Leaf Brewing Company. Come check out their Pride Makers Market on Saturday, June 20th from 1 to 6 p.m. There's also a Pride beer coming out soon called Queer by Nature, and $1 from every pour will be donated to the Aliveness Project on Market Day. Browse the work from local creators, celebrate Pride, and enjoy a pint on the patio or under the leaves. Bring your family, friends, and fur babies for what promises to be a good time at Wandering Leaf Brewing Company.
How about a beer?
What's been the response to folks? I know this is still fairly new.
Yeah.
You said that you've been... What was the exact date when you were able to offer cocktails and wine?
That's a good question that I can check the license that we have to post.
Okay, yeah.
Towards the front door.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably been half a month.
Okay.
I want to say somewhere around there.
Okay, that's what I thought, because it's fairly new.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What has been, initial, anecdotal feedback about what are people liking? I'm sure people are still kind of discovering that.
Yeah.
What's the reaction of somebody when they come in and oh, wait, what's with all the liquor bottles on the expertly hung shelves? I love this rim shot.
I think the welcoming to it has been well received. I think mostly because we got it, I believe, before Animales opened. And so for this neighborhood in particular, the closest would have been either, Mackenzie's area downtown.
Sure, yeah.
Or VFW over by Breck, which is no longer there anymore.
Okay.
You know the one I'm talking about, right off of Glenwood?
Yeah.
Right
Okay.
next to 100th?
Yep.
They actually moved and took over the old Red Lobster in Golden Valley.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
over by Lat 14.
Okay, sure.
Yep. So those two, that distance would have been the closest, I believe, for full bar service before we converted. And then now you have us and Animales next door.
Yeah.
And so, for people that live in this neighborhood, you don't necessarily want to go and get a cocktail somewhere and then have to drive all the way back to this neighborhood because you got 394, which is always under construction.
Oh, God, tell me about it.
Yeah. You got Penn. The Penn Bridge is under construction.
Yeah.
And then you got West End. Well, nobody necessarily wants to go to West End that lives in this neighborhood.
Right.
If you have to run to Cub, you have to go to that one. It's a nightmare.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't like that.
But yeah, it was one of those things that was just kind of like, oh, finally. Finally I can, have a beer and a bump or, whatever. I really like wine, but I have to go to a store, get some wine and drink it at home. I can't go out and hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So I think people were open to it for sure, and they liked it. The thing that people didn't like was the 4-packs going away.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Now it's like just growlers or crowlers. Sometimes, we can't get crowlers or, Lagersmith, some mishap and the crowlers get back ordered. So luckily, I think we have we have one layer left of crowlers, so hopefully more are on their way.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah. But we do have growlers, which are nice too, and you can do on the fly. So, yeah, it's kind of one of those things. It's the give and take,
Yeah.
The give is like, we can offer so much, and the take is, this is all you can take home.
Right. I'll just stay longer. There's food. Have another.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Order another pizza.
Exactly. The regulars, you're kind of lucky in the sense that there's probably the closest other brewery is Udapils.
Udapils for sure.
Right down the road.
Yep.
You and Udapils are different enough where a lot of people, you probably get a lot of cross-pollination.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
What did those, the beer regulars, how they embraced the change? Aside from not, maybe grumbling about not being able to take 4-packs home.
I think they embrace the change the same way as like everybody else has, of just, knowing like, okay, now I can offer this up in my friend group to like have it be a stop or, what have you. Udapils and us and a few other places have always been stops on the Santa cycle.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah. The Santa, what do they call it? There's a magnet on the Crowler fridge somewhere, but it's like the Santa ride that they do every year where everyone dresses up in Santa gear and does like a weird brewery crawl.
Yeah.
So when they showed up, it was kind of right before we started like marketing it.
Okay.
And so when they showed up, it was like, wait a second. You guys said, what? When did this happen?
Yeah.
And then it turned into this, like, oh, we're going to have to come back. We're going to have to come back for sure. Try out. Look at this list of cocktails that look at all of the liquor.
Yeah.
And we already like the beer. This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of came to a shock to some people just because when you're releasing something like that as opposed to like a soft opening.
Yep.
I mean, you're already open for business. So if you just release it out there without having gone through like some trial runs of it, now all of a sudden, instead of having you normal like 50 people on a Thursday or whatever day, now all of a sudden you have like 150 and trying to accommodate.
And they're all dressed like Santa.
And they're all dressed like Santa. They at least
beards everywhere hanging from the expertly hung shelves. What the hell's going on here?
Yes. Always getting me with the shelves.
That's right. I love that it's called a comedy callback.
Yeah, the Santas at least gave us a heads up. Like, hey, this is the day we're planning.
Yeah.
So we were able to like get it staffed correctly. But yeah, I mean, you still have places where people show up with 30 people, not call ahead. They have one server on, and all of a sudden it's just like, what do I do?
Then those are the fucknuts that leave a bad Yelp review because it's like, oh, service was slow.
Bad Yelp review,
God,
bad Google
just,
review.
Come on.
Bad tip.
Just
We didn't get our food in time.
stupid people.
Yeah.
Stupid people.
Yeah, exactly.
What were some of the, I mean, we talked about the things that people like. What were some of the logistical speed bumps or like obstacles that kind of like got in the way?
Kind of like your basic things that you don't necessarily think about all the time. where, like personally, you and I, if either one of us needed a new bed, right, we would go to the bed store.
Yep.
Or, online somewhere or whatever. And if it was out of stock, it would just say out of stock. Versus like, oh, I need a low boy, which is the kind of like cutting board with like a fold up like cooler thing, and then underneath it was also a cooler, and it'd be like, oh yeah, well I need it to be, this long, this tall, this wide, and it needs to be able to plug into a regular outlet.
Sure, yeah.
You start shopping for that. Now you're on Restaurant Depot or Webstaurant. And you're sitting there with a tape measure, like trying to figure it out, or you're looking at the dimensions online, and it's like, oh yeah, hey, this is the perfect one. And then, you go down, and how far out date, and it's like, oh, this will be 6 to 8 weeks, and it's like, okay, so we probably should have been looking at this a little bit sooner,
right?
Or like a dough mixer, right?
Yeah.
You think like, oh, KitchenAid will be just fine, right?
No, you need the big ass one.
The big one.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so now we're looking at like 8 to 14 weeks out. We definitely should start looking at that
Yeah.
even sooner.
Yeah.
And then, you submit the plans to the city, and they're looking at them, and they're like, oh, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It should go through just fine. You're like, okay, can we get started? It's like, well, no. Not until it gets approved. I'm just letting you know that, it looks fine to me.
Didn't
it might
you
not
just
look
already
fine.
approve it by saying it looks fine?
Right.
I would take that as an approval.
Well, that's the informal approval.
Oh, yeah.
Because now, if they sign off on it, it has to go to somebody else who has to sign off on it, who is usually the person that deals with fire code. And what the fire code people have to sign off on is exits. Well, when you get rid of a hallway and people have a pinch point for exiting during a fire, you need another way for people to swiftly leave.
Is that what that trampoline
area.
is for? No.
That's what the secret lever back there is.
That's right. I thought that was for...
Don't touch it.
Okay.
No, but
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, sure.
You probably haven't been here since we changed the event space, but you know how the stage used to be in and to the left?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got rid of all that stage.
Oh, okay.
And we built a stage right on the other side of this wall.
Okay.
Yeah, right behind where the water station is.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yep. Because in the back corner over there, we had to incorporate a door, which is right next to the women's bathroom, like right across the hallway.
Okay.
So instead of having the pitch point, now people can exit out there and here.
And then you got a new problem. A lot of women peeing outside now.
Yeah.
I knew that was going to get you.
Yeah. It definitely got me.
That's great. There's so many things you don't think about. Why isn't there... Wouldn't it behoove the entire industry just to have like a website of like, hey, if you're thinking about this, these are the things nobody's going to tell you about? Because I hear from everybody, everybody's got a story about the low boy or the like dough mixer, like we needed this. Why couldn't this have been like something a heads up? Like,
well, you bring up a very good point, Dan. Yeah, there's quite a few people that do actually think about these things constantly. And those people are usually people you interview, which are brewers.
yeah.
Yeah, because we're always planning for the worst thing to happen.
Yeah, that's right.
And usually that means like, oh, okay, you want to hang shelves. Okay, well, now I have to think about how I'm going to not run into the sprinkler line.
Yeah.
And then you got, again, brewers thinking about, okay, well, you want to hang up artwork, like this drop thing, but where you wanted it was in front of where air comes out. So now it's going to get super dusty, and you want it to be colorful. Well, now you can see the dust. Things like that, where have you thought about this?
Yeah.
And I think moving an entire HVAC system would cost way more than just coming up with a different idea of similar nature to kind of fit the space and whatnot and what have you. And we actually kind of ran into that issue in the back where I'm, kind of pointing. If you look,
This is going to be something on the scavenger hunt, folks. So you'll have to
hope it's on your bingo card.
That's right.
But we used to have these little Edison bulbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the other side of the fence, they were hanging down. And then we had track lighting. You could see it right past the shelf here.
Yeah.
We had to take it off of the post coming from the ceiling and just put it through the rafters so we could still shine a light down. Things where it's, again, we want to utilize height in the back. So things that hang down, 4 feet aren't necessarily going to work all that well. I know the ambiance is great, but it gets pretty tight when you're dealing with 15 and 30 barrel size tanks, and then kegs to accommodate, 16-ounce cans, 750 milliliter cans, all the dunnage and everything. Where's that going? Where's malt going? So it's just kind of like this whole thing of, when the idea got brought up, just like, okay, logistically speaking, you want to take away a hallway. Well, how are we going to deal with, like, fire safety?
Yeah.
Or, we want to expand the kitchen. Do we need to run more amperage into that box that's in the kitchen?
Yeah.
That dictates everything in there.
And I know that's not cheap.
No.
I mean, it's not cheap in like a small house.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a building of this size with, all the energy demands. Like, if you have to change that, that's like...
Yeah, that's a big
crazy.
thing. Even like the water pressure coming in, does it match, the pressure that you need your dishwasher in the kitchen to match? Or, when I was brewing here, and now Sean, like, your makeup water, well, now that there's a business next door, we come off the same main. But if we're both drawn at the same time, stuff like that, where, all that. And then, not to mention, if you do have all your ducks in a row and you have all the things on order to get here, where are you going to put it? In the meantime, waiting on a contractor to give you a date for when they can start. And then when can they get you a date on when they can get the inspection for their work done so that the next thing can happen? Because you got to, digging out the cement to then put in new water piping and sewer piping. Well, once you do that, now you have to wait on that inspector.
Yeah.
And once that inspector's done and you lay the concrete, now you need another inspector.
At any point where you and Sergio just like, hey, maybe it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission and just go ahead with this. I mean, we know what we're doing. We've watched enough YouTube videos to know how to do stuff. We got duct tape.
Well, luckily with having gone through the new build out of the initial, brewery itself, thinking we would open in, I think we were thinking June of 2018. Well, we ended up soft opening in, I believe, like end of August.
Yeah.
And things were still like just getting wrapped up. So then it became this thing of like, oh yeah, we should be open, kind of like next door.
Yeah.
Another thing. Yeah, we should be open, this month. And then, 2 to 3 months later, it's like, okay, soft opening next month.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, well, you run into those, bumps and you just kind of take them how they go. And I think people who are in construction or have dealt with construction or seen build outs understand, like, just because it's in the building doesn't mean it's getting assembled right away.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, trying to give that grace to, the world at where it is, you get this, like, sense of, like, okay, so 6 to 8 weeks, let's plan for 8 for it to be in the building. So let's get somebody scheduled for it 9 to 10, but we should probably plan on 10 weeks out.
Yeah.
And then operational, give that another month, just because, who knows if what that's waiting on is another piece of equipment.
Yeah.
So then it's like trying to like get this whole thing.
Then some asshat double parks in the Panama Canal, and you're like, well, shit. Now we got to wait another 8 months. It's just like, there's so many things like outside of your control.
Or even like you order something from, overseas, it comes in a container. Well, it's not just your stuff that's in that container.
Right.
And what if your container gets pulled for search? And so now it's backed up even further.
Yeah.
So that's out of everyone's control at that point.
But and then you've got the government cutting so many different federal departments that usually do that stuff. It's like, good Lord.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of, going back to my point, my callback, my brewer callback, is why brewers are typically the ones, when you're talking about like these kind of long-term like estimates of, best case scenario, but I'm also thinking about worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Is like typically from your mashing, you have a rough estimate as to know when that's going to be fully in the tank with yeast. Like a rough estimate. Yeah. And if you're double batching, you typically have a good idea of like, okay, so if I'm doubling up, carry the one. All right. So I should be done at this time, but I'll allow like an hour grace period. Yeah. Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, as soon as that first step is done, okay, now I know kind of where I can plan on like to take my lunch. Yep. Or like, this is when I can start like my wort line CIP or whatever, that kind of thing. So it kind of like goes together, different obvious lengths of time, but needing to go in order of operation is kind of one of those things that's intrinsically in everyone's mind that, makes beer, makes spirits, make wine, make, whatever it is. Yeah. So it's just one of those things.
Now, you mentioned take your lunch. Let's talk about some of the expanded food items that people can look forward to trying here at Doña. Now, before, at the beginning of the show, you mentioned a lot of the stuff that was already available here. What have been some of the new things? I know that like you're right next door to Animales. They kind of have like the barbecue thing. I know they have burgers. They've got quite an eclectic menu. What did you add that's really seeming to resonate with folks?
I think the main thing that we added, and I kind of alluded to it with the dough mixer, was we added pizzas. Yeah, so we're right now trying to, we have the pepperoni and the cheese like down. We brought someone in to like help us out with that, but then, trying to incorporate like different types of pizzas now. Okay. We already had wings before, so like what else would be a better suit for beer? Pizza. Right? Yeah. And then, guaranteed, you're at least going to go home with a quarter to half of a pizza. Now you have lunch for tomorrow. Yeah. Right? Or breakfast, however you choose to do it.
No judgment here on the One Pint Stand. You eat your pizza whenever you want.
Yeah, exactly. So, pizza for now, and then I believe since it's still, on the up and up of like just getting back in the, greasing the wheels, making sure all the bearings are flying. They're trying to figure out, other things that they can utilize in the kitchen to bring other items as well.
Okay. Yeah, I think that it's all really fun. I mean, you add the food element, then people are staying longer. Yep. They're drinking more beer, wine, cocktails, mocktails, THC, everything. It's kind of all under the umbrella. This big, huge apartment building next door. I mean, that's got to be, because you didn't have that. That wasn't there when you opened the tap room back in 2018.
Yeah, it was a big
So that's got to be, I mean, if I was next door to a place where I could get a great cocktail, a great beer, some really delicious food, and not have to drive, right? I'd probably be there at least 3 times a week.
now next to two places.
Right. Yeah.
So now you have to pick between.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That has helped a little bit. They've had their, run-ins with occupancy or, like, I think we've had a few tenants over there from, like, salsa nights complain about, like, noise. So, like, there's still, like, some people like that, whatever.
It is very close.
It's right there.
It's just like...
You could literally throw a rock and hit.
I mean, if I'm moving into a condo right next to a place, I'm like, don't you kind of understand what you're getting into? Like, I don't know. We're back to. Do you do much collaboration with animales? Like, is there like? I mean, obviously you share a parking lot and stuff like that, but like.
While the kitchen was under construction, we had quite a few of their menus over here.
Okay.
Just for people to like place an order online, go pick it up, and bring it over here.
Yeah.
But in regards to collaborations with them, not so much.
Okay. I remember when I went there when they opened, I was like, "Why isn't Doña Fria on tap here?"
Oh.
Like, I don't know if that's a taboo subject, but I was like, you could literally run a pipe through the wall.
Yeah,
like
right.
that seemed like a missed opportunity.
Just mainline it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you would think, but I think it was right around midway of them, like starting to get going on their construction or somewhere around there, where it was. Our transitional period.
Sure. Yeah.
So it was like
I guess that now that I know, that makes more sense.
Well, we weren't really like, outspoken and upfront about switching over.
Sure.
On social media about that.
Yeah. As somebody who is, 18 years in the industry, you've seen a lot of the different growing pains.
Yeah.
Going back from when the taproom bill passed, there was the growing pain of quality. Everybody was opening up breweries, and the people were just excited to have this new thing to go do.
Yeah,
there were a lot of places that I think viewed that as a cash grab, get rich quick type thing. There wasn't a whole lot of thought maybe put into the quality of what was being poured. Then we had, a sense, although I still don't think that the market is saturated, but there was this illusion of saturated. There's certainly high density areas depending on where you were going. Then you had COVID. Then you had, this shift in, people's drinking habits. I guess my question is craft beer and beverage going to continue to struggle, or is there a sign or things that you can point to that would act as like light at the end of the tunnel?
I think places that do what they do and they do it well, and they do it at a price that is going to be compelling for a consumer to continually want to spend at, are going to survive.
Yeah.
But that's the double-edged sword of being, if you market too low, people are going to say, well, what's wrong with it? If you market too high, people aren't going to want it.
All right.
Or if they'll give it like maybe one, if you have a beer and it's $13 for a tulip, like it better be a really good beer.
Yeah.
Right. But if it's a 4.2% lager and you have it marked too high, people aren't going to pay it.
Right.
Yeah, it was inevitable for, prices to obviously go up. Malt's going up, your water bill is going up, electric bill is going up. If you have annual, reviews and, someone's been with you for 5 years, now they're getting paid, however much. And, with everything else going up, now you got to pay your workers more. Hops are more, stuff like that. So it's just kind of like you try to take everything into consideration of, how can we offer something that is still of quality,
Yeah.
yet cost effective, both to us and the consumer, and how much of that can we make that people are going to want to buy.
Yeah.
And you see a lot more people now searching out different avenues of, well, you know, we're a 20-barrel brewery or whatever, right? But people crush these beers or whatever. How can we, as a company, figure out, you know, a way to make more of it cost effectively
Yeah.
and still quality and get it out to the consumers while still taking care of our own place? Because another thing too with Minnesota is if you contract through somebody, you can't actually sell it out of your own place. So you still have to, anything that you sell out of your own place has to be produced, packaged there.
Yeah.
Right? So that's always been a thing, and people have done it, you know, with Sand Creek. They've done it with 3rd Street. They've quite a few places. And I think, you know, Fulton, Surly, Liftbridge, these bigger places are starting to like absorb more of these contracts.
Yeah.
Where, you know, they're making somebody else's stuff, but they understand that it's still of quality.
Yeah.
Versus like, you know, there were quite a few times where you would get a keg from one of those other places and it would be like, well, this kind of tastes like it.
Yeah.
And then you get it again and be like, that's closer.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be playing that game with an established brand, though. That's tricky.
Exactly, yeah. So it's a tightrope right now for sure, and it's uncertain because there still is that uncertainty of the hemp bill, or ban going through, and that's what has really helped with breweries, absolutely, because now, you know, these THC companies and hemp companies and what have you and whatnot, you know, obviously a brewery would be the perfect fit right away because they're already producing, you know, liquid that's consumable.
Yeah.
And so, you know, with all that equipment, now these THC brands don't have to buy all the equipment. They don't have to have the overhead of, you know, all these people producing it and all these people, you know, whatever. So if that goes away, well, that'd be the first, you know, course of businesses to go under.
Yep. Yeah.
And then, you know, depending on how much that takes up on your, you know, yearly production as a brewery, you might find, you know, more and more layoffs coming about.
Yeah.
I mean, we just, not that long ago, Summit and Surly went through their big thing. Well, you know, I'm sure there's quite a few other breweries that didn't get put in the public eye that also went through a bunch of those things. And so it's just one of those kind of questions that if you let linger in your mind a little too long, you lose an extra hour of sleep every night.
Yeah.
And you're trying not to think about it all that much, but fortunately and unfortunately, it's not just, you know, service industry places that are feeling that kind of like uncertainty on whether or not, you know, you're going to show up to your job and still have it or not.
Well, one thing, you know, if you are losing sleep over these horrible things, come into Doña and have a great beer or a cocktail and get some food. Dickie, I'm very thankful that you were willing to take time today to chat with me about the Brewpub. And I'm excited. Yeah, come on down to Doña, check out the new layout. Do not pee outside.
Please don't.
Pee in the proper places, but get some food, get a pizza, have a cocktail. What's a cocktail that if somebody has not been in yet, what cocktail do they need to try right off the bat?
I think right off the bat, if you're into spicy things, the spicy margarita for sure.
Okay.
That one's really good, and I think they still garnish with a fresh jalapeno.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, fresh jalapeno slice.
Okay.
Otherwise, the mezcal old fashioned for sure.
Okay.
That'd be the other one.
Yeah, that sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
I might have to give that a try too.
Not really a pina colada guy. I don't know if I give up.
I have to be on a beach in a thong for that to be my go-to. We just lost the commercial for. We just lost the sponsorship for Banana Boat suntan lotion. Shoot, I was going to quit my day job.
Right.
Thanks very much. This has been fun.
Hey man, always good to talk to you.
Yep. This has been another on-location episode of a One Pint Stand. Cheers.
Cheers.
I want to thank Dickie for the great conversation. Aside from being a fantastic industry mind, the dulcet and soothing tones of his voice would make reading the phone book engaging. I cannot wait to go and try a mezcal old-fashioned as well as some of the new pizzas that are offered at La Doña. You know, brewpubs are becoming a bigger thing nowadays, as is evidenced by several of my latest episodes. As the industry changes, the ability to offer a myriad of things will get everyone in the door. Now, the quality, that's up to the place. However, in the case of La Doña, you can trust that everything is going to taste and drink as it should. Now, I want to give a special thank you to Brad Ashton, Jason Berg, Marcus Dodson, Chuck Dorsey, Vicky Epper, Daniel Fisher, Todd Fitzloff, Dave Giefer, Matt Holton, Robin Irwin, Brian Ketchell, Sarah Cry, Cable Lefto, Dave Long, Ben Michaels, Brent Newman, Bree Smith, Jesse Storms, Cal Vandehoof, and Brian Wu for being Keg Standard level supporters of the One Pint Stand Patreon. You've all shown incredible generosity, and I'm so grateful for it. Cheers to you all. If you happen to be a pint hoister and Keg Standard level supporter of the Patreon, I hope you enjoyed hearing some of the behind-the-scenes stuff at La Doña, as well as the gushing we had to do about Irish whiskey and Jace Marty of Black Frost Distillery. The entire chat was a ton of fun. I also want to thank the band Quirky for creating a nice little jingle for the podcast. I just love how it turned out, and it adds such a great touch to the show, so thank you so much. Once again, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor for this episode, Wandering Leaf Brewing Company. Their staff have created a special atmosphere where everyone is welcome. They provide fantastic beers in a laid-back, tropical setting. Think Brewery Oasis. Wandering Leaf is a great community gathering spot in St. Paul, so get over there and check them out. Happy hour is Monday through Thursday from 2 to 5 p.m. Tell them you heard about them on a One Pint Stand. With that, this has been another episode of a One Pint Stand, a Minnesota craft beer podcast where the pants stay on, but the caps come off. Cheers. Ask for Dickie. He'll show you. He'll point out everything we mentioned on the show. It'll be like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah,
if you get all 16 items, you get a free beer and a back rub.
Exactly. But it has to be all of that, though.
That's right. Yeah, no.